So good afternoon, Poet fans. Welcome to another segment of Coleman's Corner. I'm Lance Franny, Assistant Athletic Director for Communications, and I'm joined by Executive Director of Athletics, Robert Coleman. Now we're going to get right into it, Rob. New additions here in the athletic department. I know we have a whole new football coaching staff. Can you touch upon that with us a little bit?
Sure. So first off, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, and we're really happy about the hiring of our new head coach for football, Mike Neal. Great defensive coordinator at Albright College in Pennsylvania. I thought we had a great search with three awesome candidates, finalists for the position, and it's a good feeling to get the guy that you really wanted, as our committee and the players really felt like Mike was going to be the best fit for our school, our program, and the individual that can really help take our program to where we want to go. So super excited about Mike's addition, and we have a few folks from our staff who will be staying on, but we have a host of new coaches coming in as well, and they'll be beginning here in the beginning of February. So excited about getting the whole staff here, and I know Mike's been out there with Mark and Cam, recruiting for next year. But once we get the whole staff together, we can get prepared for spring football.
And how have the players been taking the new addition? I know it's been short notice, but he's been working really hard. He's met with the players. How have they liked it?
I think well so far. I mean, they're working hard in the weight room. Looking forward to having an introductory event for Mike next weekend up at the President's House with parents and players, and we'll get a little bit more vibe of kind of where we're at. But the bottom line is he's had some meetings with the guys, welcome kind of thing, and I think we have 35 to 40 kids right now that we feel are returning, and like I said, I think we're off to a good start.
And the last time we chatted, we touched upon the fall sports and kind of the strong ending that they had. Can you touch upon the all sports standings within the conference and kind of how we improved from last year to this year? Mm-hmm. Maybe like volleyball made playoffs, women's soccer made a huge jump in the standings as well. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about some of the movement we had, which is a huge progress for us.
I mean, our goal in our program is we were fifth last year. We wanted to go to top four this year, and right now we're tied for fifth with Occidental. I think we're a point away from being in fourth place because I think Laverne's a bit ahead of us, but actually third place is even there right now with Redlands. I forget who the school is, but I think they're only 3 points ahead of us, or 2.5 points. So our goals are still there for us. The women's athletic teams have done an amazing job here the last year and a half. They've done a great job. It's helped us really move in the direction we want to move. And as you mentioned, women's soccer's made that move, which we thought was going to take a good step. Volleyball did a really good job this year making the tournament. And so, it's unfortunate, it's tough to stay on top like men's water polo has been, great championship game, and we foresee them being good for years to come, quite honestly. So a great fall, more points than we had this time last year already, a few points ahead of schedule there, and that's where we're at. So really pleased with the fall, even though we unfortunately weren't able to get a championship. We still feel right now that there's a couple out there for us for the end of the season, and hopefully we can get over that 100-point mark again and kind of see where we sit. But the goal is to finish top four, and I think we're in a really good spot right now for that.
So then transitioning into the winter sports, and that's kind of where we have to piggyback from the fall. And so far they're off to a strong start, especially men's basketball. Swim and dive, both 3-3 right now, but again, right now the conference schedule doesn't mean anything until you compete in the SCIAC championships. And then of course you got men's basketball right up there, tied for second place in the conference standings. Women's basketball has been struggling a little bit, but they're still right there in the hunt as well. Let's talk a little more about the winter sports. We're already mid-season already, so how have they been doing?
Yeah, well, first off, touch base on swimming. I think Tasman's done a really good job. I think the student athletes, have accepted her as the coach, and I think she's done a wonderful job. And so, coming through our program as a grad fellow and then having that position, I think we're headed in a really good position there. And, I think they're both 3-3 right now. So for us, if we can get in that mix for fourth place, we'd be really thrilled, quite honestly. So So they've positioned themselves quite well. We got the championship coming up here in the third week of February.
And you've still got Chapman and Cal Lutheran left too, and those are definitely head-to-head matchups that we definitely should be able to come out on top.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I mean, and even if we finish 4-4, whatever the case may be, we know we're in the mix to get into that top 4 in the conference, and that's exactly where we want to be. So, it all depends if we're ready to go on championship weekend there, and if we do, I think, there's even a shot, believe it or not, for third place. I mean, they really swam quite well against Redlands. Now, again, I don't know, with it not counting how many folks Redlands swam and so forth, but the point being is we're kind of like right there, and that 3, 4, 5 is kind of up for grabs, and hopefully we're going to be able to get in that top 4. So swimming started off really, really well for us, having a nice season. Men's basketball, as you mentioned, where we've kind of been up and down a little bit, but we are, believe it or not, tied for second right now. Tough game tonight against Caltech, who obviously after years and years of hard work have really come together as a basketball team there, but. That's wide open, Lance. It's wide open. The men's basketball championship is wide open with CMS struggling with injuries, and it doesn't look like, perhaps they may be in the tournament this year. I think you could see 4 kind of brand new teams in some regards, or at least a couple brand new teams in this thing. And so excited about where men's basketball can go, and if we could really get a little streak going, again, that's something, we could hold a trophy for that. I think that's just wide open right now. And women's basketball, as you mentioned, is struggling. Unfortunately, nice win last night. But, I think we let a bunch of games go in the first half that, really tough when you look back on it. There's at least 2, 3, maybe possibly even 4 games we could have won and probably should have won and we didn't win. And, now we're in a really tough spot here going into the second half. But again, I think, where that goes, I'm not quite sure, but I think men's basketball is in a really good mix right now, and swimming has a chance to be top 4 team for sure.
And a big event going on here in the winter sports, of course, is men's basketball celebrating their centennial, 100 years of basketball dating back to 1915. And we have a big event coming up, so can you touch upon that for us?
Yeah. So on the 13th, we've invited hosts of alumni back in the program for men's basketball. We're going to have a little luncheon here before the game, which is at 2 o'clock, a luncheon around 12 o'clock of alums coming back, celebrating the 100-year anniversary. It's just going to be a great event to see folks back here who haven't been back in a long time and see all the good things that have been going on in this program for the last few years. And so really excited about that. So that's 12 o'clock on the 13th.
We're playing Caltech that day.
So
definitely
really
be a
big
good
game.
Big game.
And they're all going to matter here in February, no doubt. So again, really excited about that event coming up. And it only comes once every 100 years. I won't be able to celebrate another one after this. But like I said, really excited about the connections we've had with some alums for this, the excitement around it, and looking forward for a really big afternoon on the 13th.
A lot of excitement, again, with the new Poet Pit edition that we have here in the gym, with a painted Poet Pit section in the gymnasium. So it's going to be a ruckus crowd. It's going to be a great crowd. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I think the brain trust of what Mark Jensen's done with that, with I think Chris McDermott, and also with Elizabeth, having the parents support us in being able to do that Poet Pit and how we painted. I think once it really came out great. But I want to thank the kids. At our school and in our programs who have really sat in that pit. It's been an awesome home environment, especially during the week. Right. During Jan term, the weekend's been a little dull here, but during the week it's been awesome. And so hopefully we're going to get some really, really good crowds here in February to kind of push us over the hump here for a championship.
And then also thanking Holiday and La Mirada for helping sponsor the 3/4 court shot for $10,000. So that's another big event at halftime that we have going on. So we want to thank the Holiday and La Mirada for that support, for helping us out with that halftime entertainment. So now
has anyone got close, Lance?
There's been about 4 people. There was one that was really close that went just under the basket. So they're getting there. They're getting there. So far, we've had 3 females and a male who have done it. But it's been a great time. And
but I've seen them win after they miss, they win.
Correct. They win the layup, the free throw, the 3-pointer in 30 seconds. They've done a tremendous job winning that. So kudos to them for that. Good. But it's been a great atmosphere with that addition. But then after the winter sports, moving into the spring. Today we're doing the headshots. We're doing the media day for all the spring sports. Definitely a lot of the teams are anxious. They're practicing now and really looking forward to that first game of the season now. can we touch upon some of those sports that you think are really going to be doing well this season, or maybe some high expectations for some of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, first off, our expectations is for everyone to move up at least a spot than where they finished last year. There are some in better shape than others about as far as, hey, we're in the top of the conference already. First off, I would tell you that with softball and women's water polo coming off championship seasons for the first time for women's water polo ever, and for softball in quite some time, since '89, really excited about. But a little bit different, right? Water polo is coming back with a lot of returners. There's some experience, and on top of it, they're only juniors, the host of them. So that team looks to be in a really, really good spot. I would tell you, like I did in the fall, I think we'd be disappointed if they weren't in that championship game. We'd be disappointed in that. So that's kind of where they're at. That's their aspirations and kind of where they're at. I think for softball, same scenario, but a different team. We graduated a lot of young ladies. We brought in a whole bunch of new freshman transfers, but good ones, and we feel, hey, we're going to have a real good shot to be top 4, and hopefully we're going to be in that championship game. So I think it would be disappointed if we weren't there for those two sports. Others I see, I do see men's tennis probably getting back into the top 30 in the country in the rankings. I think they have what it takes now with some new recruits, some new transfers in here to probably get back into that, maybe compete for top 4 in the conference again. So that would be really, really nice to kind of get back to where we were not too long ago when David Bojala was here as our coach. I look at the sports of men's lacrosse. I think men's lacrosse has a really, really great opportunity. We've been knocking on the door for the NCAA championships for the last 2-3 years, and I'm hoping we're going to be able to kick the door down. I know Coach Kelly's, he's enthused about his team. He's encouraged about what he's been able to do with recruiting. They work super, super hard here in the gym, and I hope all their hard work's finally going to pay off. But I think we definitely have an opportunity to make nationals with lacrosse. Help me out, who am I?
And then women's lacrosse, talking about Trish Bongura has been talking about a number of new players. So we've gone from not having any subs on the bench for women's lacrosse to now actually having almost pretty much 2 units being able. So now we actually have addition, so they've done a tremendous job with their recruiting.
Yeah, I mean, look, Trish came in here, a really tough situation. I mean, we were at ground zero, so the first 2 years have been really tough for a player who was as accomplished as she was and as competitive as she is. It's been tough, but I think we're in a position now with women's lacrosse to probably not win a championship, but to make that first initial move, similar to what women's soccer did this year, is we should be able to, hey, can we move up a spot or 2 spots and really set ourselves up over the next 2-3 years to really go after a championship. So they're realistic goals. I mean, it's whether you're first and can you stay first, second, or if you're last and can you go up. I mean, that's what we're all about. Is we're keep trying to get better.
So here and there.
So it's just, so again, yes. I mean, Trish has done a great job recruiting, and I think really excited about the talent that she's brought in, and now we just got to put it together and bring it out there. I think Coach Rizzo is really excited about his baseball team. Looks like we have a real solid outfield. Looks like we brought in some really solid hitters. I mean, we've lost 2 great baseball players who have been drafted by the Cardinals over the last 2 years. But it looks like we've got some good hitters on this team. They seem to get along really well, and so I think he's really encouraged about the upcoming season. And then both softball and baseball, they're chomping at the bit to get going here after practicing for the last month here. It's time to play ball.
And Coach Rizzo is saying this is probably one of the best hitting teams overall that he's ever had, or at least within the past 5-6 years, which is great, promising to see. Now it's just going to be that pitching staff, see if we can get something going. The same thing with Coach Kingsbury. She's saying the same thing. She has Samantha Bloom returning. You got Maria Elena Hearn coming back. So now it's just going to be that pitching. Do you have that support there?
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have that.
Yeah, and then last, I would just tell you, women's golf is in a really, really good spot. I think Coach King's worked super hard. I think we're as deep as we've ever been with our team, and it's a team, that probably should finish top 3, if not maybe top 2 in our conference. I think it will be ranked somewhere in the top 30 in the country along with men's tennis. And so, really excited about the spring. And the spring's always a great time. Getting through daylight savings here and the year just flies by here. But we got a lot of good things to look forward to, and I'm hopeful, we'll be able to hoist a trophy or two up through the winter or the spring and continue to compete the way we want to compete.
And of course, touching upon the addition of Jason Nunez as our new men's golf coach, and granted, just like you talked about, he's been thrown in kind of a tough situation there, again with, a number of 6-7 guys on the team, but again, it's looking promising with him as a head coach.
Look, he's got the right attitude. I'm really encouraged of the direction of men's golf and where we're going to go. But he's in a similar position that Trish was, 2 short years ago, where we're basically starting from scratch. There's good and bad to that, I guess, but it's going to take a little while. There needs to be some patience there as he builds this thing up. But what he's doing recruiting right from the get-go and kind of where we want to go. It's all about the patience. We've been that way with women's soccer. We see what's come of it. We've been that way with women's lacrosse, and I think they're on their way. And it's the same with golf. And in the long run, that hard work will pay off in the end. And it's all about just getting the right people to be the coach, and I think we have that.
So a lot to look forward to here in Poet Athletics. And next time I'm going to chat with Rob is going to be after the Sky Championships for swimming and diving. And right after that, basketball is going to be ending up as well. So the next time we chat.
Yeah, and the last thing, Lance, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to talk about our President's Club Luncheon, which honors our student athletes with a 3.5 or higher. And we'll have that event on March 31st. We're bringing back a trustee member and former CFO of Apple, Fred Anderson. Really excited about that. Fred was a baseball player here and went on to great success when he graduated from Whittier. And so really excited about that. We'll probably have over 100 individuals student athletes who will be invited to that. We did great with our GPA through the men's and the women's teams. And again, I think we're really shining in the classroom, which is the number one thing we do here. As much as we want to compete and be great, it's all about the classroom, and we're doing a great job in the classroom. So
great. So President's Club Lunch is something great to look forward to every year. Again, like I said, we're going to follow up with Rob after the Sky Championships for swimming and diving. We're going to recap the winter season, and then at that same time, we're going to be right at the start of the spring. So we'll be, talking about that and previewing some of those sports that are off to a strong start as well. So Rob, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming out here with me. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Whittier College Sports Network. I'm Lance Franny for Rob Coleman. Tune in next time to Coleman's Corner.